Welcome back, everyone, to Football Focus SG Podcast with myself, I am Mr. JB, and today we have a very, very special guest joining into the podcast today for the first guest of the year 2026. Please welcome Shan. Shan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation, Safai. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and also Mr. JB is here with us. Mr. JB, how are you doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Very good. Hope all is well on your end as well.
Yeah, football is always all fun and well. But let's talk to our special guest over here, Mr. Shan. Care a bit to share a bit about yourself, about, how do you get into football? Who do you
Mhm.
idolize? Which club do you follow? I mean, well, clearly from the jersey, we know that you're following someone, yes, which we're gonna talk about it later. But share with us a bit, like what got you into football? Which player
Mhm.
that got you into it? Club, match, any memories of it? Share with us.
Okay. If you want to ask when it all started, is since I was in primary school. I think it's primary four, primary five. So the player that actually caught my eye, the first player was Ryan Giggs, actually.
Hmm.
So he's a winger, the way he played and everything. So the flair that he has actually attracted me to start watching Manchester United.
Yeah.
So during that time, then the interest starts to build in, and then I start to have these collectible cards. I think if you guys remember during the long
You
time ago,
mean the
there's a
Topps
sticker
card
book.
or the stickable Panini ones? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't recall what's the name. So every time I buy that card, I will only keep the Manchester United players and everything. So
Ah,
the interest in the club starts to build up, and then after that, I watch the game,
yeah.
and then 1999 happened, and then from then on, it's stuck to me all the way until today. So I'm glad to say that I support them when they're highs, even when they're lows, and everything. So I watch all their matches and everything. So um, yeah, so I'm a big fan of Man United until today.
Right. So he started off with gigs and then he says Man United from the class of.
Yes, Ryan
Yeah.
Giggs was my idol initially when I
Mm.
start off. So yeah, I started off from there, and then I watched the whole team, and then Beckham free kicks and corners and all these things, and then Eric
Yeah.
Ferguson and all this, how he played and everything. So everything is interest to me. So from then on, I started to support them all the way until today.
So when you were growing up playing football as well, do you try to emulate like how gigs play? Like what would you describe gigs? Because you say gigs is your favorite player. If you can
Mhm.
describe him in 3 words, like what would
Three
you
words:
describe him? Yeah.
he's skillful,
Yeah.
he's fast, and then his dribbling skills. Because if I'm sorry to say, but during 1999, the one that he scored a fantastic goal in the FA Cup against Arsenal.
Uh,
Fantastic. That was fantastic. So that kind of play that is attracting me, like, wow, this player is so
yeah.
that's how he caught up and everything. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in terms of playing wise, honestly, yes, younger days I do play and everything, primary school, secondary school, but over time I had to work and everything, and then now I don't have the fitness to even run and all this. So to be honest, it's more of watching, but playing leisurely, yes, I do play leisurely at times. Yeah.
All right, all right. Mr. JB, you have any question for our special guest for today for now?
Yeah, I mean, being the fact that both of us actually support Man United,
Yeah.
we've seen the highs and the lows. So perhaps a more controversial question would be, uh, especially in this current climate, I think, uh, looking at the status of Man United, which
Mhm.
manager do you think should be the one coming over to Man United after what has happened recently?
Oh wow. Immediately, the
Wow,
current
this
setting
is
already.
tough
Yeah.
because you see, it's not just about the way that the manager wants to play. We have, Ruben Amorim is a good example. We actually picked him, for the way of how he's playing, the style, the formation that he has. So we may bring in a manager that we thought is good. The Zerbi example, even the Crystal Palace manager,
Glasner,
Glasner.
yeah.
Yeah, so even he plays with a back three and all this. So it doesn't mean if we were to choose them to be the manager for Man United, it's much more than that of what they can bring in as a formation. It's the players, and even Man United. I think the management is getting hands on with the team affairs and the transfers and all these things. So, if you ask me to pick someone to actually continue,
Hmm.
I I think Glasner will be a good one if you ask me, because
Yeah.
he's a proven talent in EPL as well with Crystal
Yeah.
Palace. You can see how well he's actually managed Crystal Palace. They've been winning all the games. The way they play and everything is good. So I believe we can follow his style of play with the
Yeah.
players that we have. So we have the winger, we have the attacker, and everything. So even if we want to play a back three, it's still justified, with how he's been playing with Crystal Palace. So I think he's a good choice, given to my opinion.
All right. Well,
Yep.
Mr. JB, do you agree? Like, will you agree taking Glasner as the next coach to take over, or?
Ah, I mean, yeah, fair point. I think at the moment, if you look, the Premier League actually have one of the better managers out there at the moment. I think at one point, even I think until now, we are still talking about the likes of Eddie Howe
Yeah.
from Newcastle, yeah, and then Glasner. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, EPL does have that kind of a higher level stature. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's how moving ahead, how Man United will want it, because it seems like we are still somewhat. I mean, there's still a small circle out there who state that we are still
Mhm.
somewhat being pinned down by the Ferguson era, and not being able to move on and create our own identity. So yeah, that is one side of the camp. Then on the opposite end is probably like, we should start playing like the Man United way. So at the end of the day, it's quite interesting. Whether we like it or not, we hate to admit it, but we have already changed, I think, almost more than 7 or 8 managers now since
Yes.
time.
Mm.
And and I think the number of players signed is also, I think, in the higher numbers. But yeah, I guess that is football. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and sadly these days, I think the managers are the one that is getting the heat lah. As long as the result doesn't go uh,
Mhm.
to their favor. So that's quite unfortunate. I mean, I'm still confused the difference between head coach or manager now, is what Amori mentioned in his last conference and all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think credit to Faiz as well. I think Arsenal still stick on Arteta despite whatever that happened, despite the trophies, no trophies, and all that. So
Yeah, we're still
yeah, I
getting
mean,
the banters and all. That is common, when you're an Arsenal fan.
Arteta have to win this season for me, because I think
yeah,
it's enough time. He has been given the resources that he needs, the players that he
that's right.
wants. So
Mhm.
this
Yep,
season is the one that he really needs. And yeah, I think this is the season that he need to prove himself of what he has over the past seasons.
yep,
And
that's
then
true. That's true. At least,
yeah,
at least, at least one major trophy, which is either the Premier League or the Champions League.
Yeah,
If
they
not, it's
need
going to
one.
be very
Champions
tough.
League
Yeah.
tough, but we shall see.
Okay. All right, I have two questions, but one of it is going to be for the both of you. Since you both are Man United fans, right? You guys been through the highs and the lows, but more or less we kind of know the highs will be like, most likely the 99 treble, which is like
Mhm,
an incredible feat to happen for
mhm.
Man United. What is the lowest point of Man United fan so far for you both? I'll start with you first, the guest, Mr. Shan.
The lowest,
What's considered the lowest point of your, as a fan, that's the lowest point of Man United that you have ever
okay,
seen?
we take it as the time that Ferguson retires, because Ferguson retires, Manu was still at the high. I think there's
Yeah,
nothing we can
correct.
complain of the lowest. So from the time he retired until present day right now, because with Mourinho, with Solskjaer, with Van Gaal, we at least finish in a quite a reasonable position. We
Yeah,
finished at least maybe six or seven. But last season was quite bad. When the Ten Hag was fired, and then Ruben Amorim came in, and then we have the hype of Ruben Amorim, what he has done for Sporting, he can bring over to Man U, and we were expecting it to just change, because we thought we can change it overnight and everything. So if you ask me
yeah.
the lowest point, because we finished, I think, what, 15 last season.
Yeah, and I think with the Europa League final, that's what happened. I think that
Yes.
is, yeah.
So we thought the Europa League could actually, overcome the standing that we finished in the Premier League of 15, but we lost the final as well. So to me, that was quite at the lowest point of being a Man U fan for the time
Mm.
this past few years, because we finished at almost, we are like a relegation battle. We had
Yeah,
that kind of thing going on at the end of the season, and then we lost the final against Tottenham Hotspur of all the clubs. And they haven't
yeah, I
won a
know,
major
right?
trophy
Yeah,
for how many years, and I think you should understand. So
yeah, yeah.
that was really bad for us to finish on the 15th, and then on top of that, we lost to Spurs, and then that is considered as the lowest point. Because overall, I think Mourinho, all the managers that was around, we finished at a very kind of reasonable kind of position. But last season was quite bad, so that was the lowest, and that was the time that tested us, many fans.
Yeah.
How determined are we to support our club? How are we, are we gonna still support and all these things?
Yeah,
But
it's
for me,
very
I
hard
always support.
to
Yeah,
follow. Yeah.
yeah. So that was the lowest point, if you ask me, for as a Man U fan.
All right. Well,
That was
Mr. JB, do you agree that last season was the lowest point, or do you had one personally elsewhere that as a Man United fan that was the lowest point?
Yeah. I do feel that that is one of the yeah lah. I mean, if you're talking about lowest point, yeah, I believe last season one was the one that's very fresh in the memory. This season almost was as bad, especially the Grimsby Town one. I think that one
Oh yes, you
that
see,
one when
yeah.
yeah when that happened, I was like, okay, can this be more? Can this be
Can it
better
be
than last
worse?
season in terms of being worse? But yeah, but thankfully, after that the table kind of climbed here and there, but results still doesn't show. But for me, I feel the lowest point. Yeah, I think last season was pretty close. Ferguson left. Yeah, I mean, not so bad, I guess. Uh, Moyes leaving. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about Man United, like it's always like a wave. We almost like we have a certain high, and then after that we have a certain low. So it's really tough.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but if you ask me, I think one of the sad moments, if you ask me, I think was when Ole actually was sad. I think that one was a bit sad because I think Ole somewhat tried to play attacking football, and then I think he got us to the Champions League final, right? If I'm not wrong, then we lost, right?
Europa League.
Europa.
Yeah,
Europa
sorry.
League. Right? Yeah, we
Yes,
lost
yeah,
to
It
Villarreal.
was
Villarreal, I think.
Villarreal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Villarreal. I think if he were to win that match, I think it would have been different. But then again, yeah, I mean, it's more of his story lah, because he does seems like a nice guy lah, Ole. So I really want him to do well as an ex-player, but yeah, unfortunately, things are different lah. But yeah, I think I have to agree with Shan there. I think last season
Mhm.
finishing like almost relegation form, like we are just trying to get that 40-point mark. Yeah, I think that one was painful.
Yeah, to make it worse, we ended, like in the regulation zone,
Yeah,
and Liverpool was the champion. So that was a pinch
yeah,
of it.
correct,
Oh
correct.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, so that
it's
make it
another one.
worse actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even more painful. But all right, one last question
Yes.
before we move on to the first and the only topic of our podcast for today, and then we'll also have the part two. So do check it out. So, Sean, just a quick question for you. Me and Mr. JB, of course, I support Arsenal. Mr. JB
Hmm.
support Man United, but I'm not sure whether we do have a second team that we secretly support. So, like,
Oh, really?
yeah, we do. So, Mr. JB actually secretly supports Newcastle every now and then also.
Okay.
And I secretly support West Ham every now and then as well.
Mm-hmm.
But just curious for you, do you have a second club in EPL that you can or would support?
Like you say, it's like a soft spot for this club besides Man United, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it's Aston Villa actually.
Aston Villa. Okay.
Yes,
I mean
because
they are a very decent Midland club. Yeah,
yes, they are quite decent, and then they have also players like, because sometimes I feel like they have players that can perform. Even Martinez, the keeper, is good. Even they have I think Watkins also is good, but I don't know. I just have this soft spot for Aston Villa whenever they play because of the players that they have and everything. So it's just a soft spot for Aston Villa, to be honest with you.
yeah.
So
Because sometimes we watch our team play, and then sometimes there'll be other team
mm,
where we also enjoy. Doesn't mean we support, but
yes.
we do enjoy watching them sometimes. So like Aston Villa is like one of that for you.
And yeah, so like Emery also is doing well for the team and the club and everything, and then they are also at the top area. So I think it's just a soft spot, and then
Yes,
for Aston Villa, I can't really say why, but it's just
right.
they
So
have good players
so
and
when
those.
when
Yeah.
Aston Villa won Arsenal, you celebrated more on that day.
Oh, and that was a last minute goal by Buendia or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I celebrated, to be honest. You can ask my son. I celebrated that goal.
I
That
understand. I
was a
mean,
good
Aston
match.
Villa,
Yeah.
look, to be fair, we have nothing against it, but it's only because of Martinez. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
clear personal issue with us, right? Yeah. All right. So we're finally gonna move on. We're our only topic for today. We're gonna cover the Premier League weekend roundup that happened over the weekend,
Mm,
and we're gonna have both Mr. JB and Shan here, the special guest, to do a
mm,
special player rating for a special match, which we're gonna talk about it right now, which is the
mm,
biggest game of the weekend that happened, which is Man
mm,
United 2, Manchester City nil. And the scoreline doesn't tell the whole story because what many people didn't know, I feel, is that Man United could have scored more. That's one. And not only that, Man City were not even there. They have not even
Mhm.
attempt a proper shot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And to say that Man United were demolishing and commanding was brilliant. I think for Carrick first game, it
Mhm.
is brilliant. But now my question first to you, Shan. Is this just a manager bounce back? Or do you think they will just kick on from here? Is this similar to Ole bounce back? Or is this Carrick's ball that we're seeing?
Okay, if you ask me, I think it's more of Carrick's ball. You know why? Because he played the players in the right position. Look where Bruno was playing. Because
Yeah,
under Ruben Amorim, Bruno was playing more of a defensive, more deeper role. He's the
yeah,
one like in front of the back three, in front of
mm,
the defense. So,
yeah,
but the freedom was given to Bruno in this match, and you
yeah,
can see what he can do. The
yeah.
passes, the crosses, the assist that he has, and then the vision that you know how he
Yeah,
plays.
he's stringing
Make
the
use,
plays. Yes.
yeah. So he hold the ball, he know how to send over to Umbremo, to Ahmad, So when you give the player the right position that he plays and you give him the freedom to play,
Yeah.
you can see what happens and all this. And then on top of that, Maguire, Martinez, everyone turns up for that game. And then,
Yeah.
after I think some legends were saying that, Martinez is going to be pocketed by Haaland and all this, but it's the other way around and all this. So,
Yeah.
if you ask me, I think it's more of Carrick's ball that actually
Mm.
um, carried the team and everything. So, I hope this will continue to the next game, the
Mm.
spirit and
Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of
so,
preview talk about that. But Mr.
yeah,
JB,
okay.
what
So,
about you?
oh, yeah.
Like, what about you, Mr. JB? Like, is this Carrick's at the wheel now? Is Carrick ball, or this is just a bounce back? Because the players given that creative freedom, like what Shan was saying. Every player were playing naturally in their own usual place and all that.
Yeah, as much as I would like to, jump on the bandwagon and agree,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that there are some other factors that is also quite important. I think one of it is being the fact that I think both Ahmad and Mbumo also came back at the right time, right?
Yeah,
Like they
yeah,
both, I mean, they both got eliminated, but for their own nations at the same time, and then just nice, leading up to this match, they returned. Although yes, a bit sad, lah. I mean, they returned to a new manager, or I would say a new head coach, like in this case.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the players are there, but yes, you can see that from the start, you can see that there's a lot of positivity across
Mm.
all positions. Like Martinez, Maguire, uh, all the way to the midfield. Like even Kobe Mino plays surprisingly well.
Yeah,
Then we also have Casemiro, who's showing his class again
Mhm.
as a legend. Then
yeah,
Dorgu was doing very well on the wings. So yeah, so you can actually go on, and then yeah, Bruno as well, playing in his natural role just behind the striker, assisting. So there are a lot of good things come up from there. And yes, I was surprised by how City's approach are. To be fair, their defense is a little bit weak. I mean, their defense is like their second, is like their B team defense because
yeah,
their defenders are mostly injured. But
yeah,
I mean, again, no excuses. They still have the quality up front.
yeah,
They still have players like Semenyo, Doku, and all these players. Yeah, so the fact that we managed to play as convincing like that, and when the scoreline is supposed to be like 4-5-0, but
Mhm.
it ends up 2-0 in a convincing way. I think that is already a lot of positive.
yeah,
And of course, moving forward, I hope this momentum continues. I hope it's not just another blip where the
Yep.
players is like, oh, new manager vibe, we'll give him 1-2 weeks of, feel good kind of thing. And then after that, once Carrick starts to change certain things or start to give certain things, let's hope the players cooperate this time. And at least until the end of the season, because I think the target is quite clear.
yeah,
We need to get back to Champions League
Yes,
football.
yes,
So
yes.
that is the target. So I hope this time the players live up to the expectation lah, and as well as Carrick lah. Well, of course, like any ex-players, you want the ex-players to do well. But
yeah.
again, in football, not every player can be good manager.
True.
So yeah, so that's the balance ah. So I really hope that Carrick can excel as a manager at least for this short run with Man United moving forward.
All right. Well, two questions again for me to you guys, which is one of it is Well, there was an incident that was a main talk about also, other than just Man United brilliant victory, was that in the first half, Diogo Dalot,
Oh,
interesting challenge that many people claim to should have been red, but he got
mhm.
away with yellow. Now, as Man United fans, I know yes, certain
Ah,
biasness is common, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, everyone do.
okay.
But I just want to know, should have been a red to you guys, or was it really what the referee gave was the right decision? We'll start with Mr. JB first this time.
If you ask me, it can be red. I mean, if you look at it on the replay
Yeah,
and on
it looks
slow
pretty
mo,
bad
it
actually.
does look like a red. But then again, if you look at it real time, to be
Yeah,
honest, when you look at it real time, you really can't see the studs hitting anywhere. Even like it's
yeah,
just
it was like a clip. It's like a very
yeah,
fast clip.
correct.
Yeah,
So I think the referee is fair lah to say that a yellow is a good enough booking because I mean sometimes the ball is moving so fast, the defender is just trying to clear the ball away, and then it just so happens the position of the leg or
mm,
whatsoever is there. So yeah, but for me in that instance, if you look at it, VAR could have given red, but I think VAR already explained why they don't give a red. So for that call because they don't see any dangerous intentions or anything like that.
yeah.
So I think yellow card is fair.
All right. Well, Shan, do you agree? Mm,
Yes, I agree because the thing is, during the gameplay, we saw that we thought it's just a normal kind of fall and everything, but when it goes up, when we saw the replay, it actually does look bad. But sometimes you have to look at the position of the player, the defender,
Yeah,
the ball, whether he's trying to go for the ball and all this. So
yeah,
based on that, like what Hafiz, as in what Mr. JV said, is actually true. Yellow is justified for that. It could be a red actually, to be honest.
yeah.
I think it's still a red. I'm still quite justified, but a yellow is more presentable because of the position and the gameplay that was during the time that the defender was running and everything. So I think yellow is justified, but can be a red also. So yeah, yellow is okay.
Yeah, because I know Man City did kind of use it, but I believe I'm not sure if you
Mhm.
guys saw the interview. I think Bernardo Silva and Pep Guardiola were mentioning like, yes, they could have been red, but they took it on themselves. They say like, regardless whether it should have been red or not, they should have performed better for that game. So they never
They look at
really
it in
play it
overall.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never really pin it on that
Mhm.
moment, which is a good thing, I guess. They accept that they weren't playing well. But it is a big talking point at the first half. So now the second question I got for you guys. I know, yes, you guys mentioned that Carrick is an interim all the way to the end of the season and most
Mhm.
likely finding a new manager. But if Carrick were to, I don't know, just out of nowhere get third or fourth, play all the way to Champions League, would you guys take him full time or still find a new manager? We'll start with you, Shan.
If you ask me, we go on with him because
Mm,
he has been in the club for a very long time as a player, and also he has been a coach in the Man United. I think he's been an assistant manager and all this, so
yeah,
he knows the club in and out. And then from what we see, based on just the game against Man City, he knows how to utilize the players in the positions and the play and the formations. Everything works so well. So far, it's so good. I can't say until the end of the season. But if let's say we go all the way to the end of the season, Carrick managed to finish fourth or third, and then I think we should give him a chance and keep him as a manager rather than we bring in someone new and then a new setup, a new formation starts to build up, and then
yeah.
we already have something good. We already have our foundation there, so we should work on it, and then it can be bring along to the next season, and then we can fight for more trophies and all these things. So if you ask me, if Carrick going to finish third and fourth, I would say keep him for the next season.
All right. Well, Mr. JB, do you agree?
Mhm.
If Carrick were to bring you all back to Champions League in the top four, will you sign him permanently or will you still find another manager?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. For me as a fan, yeah, I would say keep whoever that is already doing very
Hmm.
well and giving us the points. We just keep, right? That is the whole point. But this
Yeah.
this question should be given to the boards and the owners because it seems
Mhm.
like they are the one being confused now because they brought in Amorim. They know the guy is gonna play three at the back.
Yeah.
They
They backed
they
him and told
yeah,
everyone that they're
exactly.
gonna
They
back
backed
him.
him. Yeah, they backed him. They claim they're gonna back him. Yeah, they claim they're gonna support his style and all that. But then yeah, when results don't go their way and everything, or I don't know what actually went down, the fallout, and then they reset again. So it's really tough because every time you reset and you start again, the players are also confused and they don't. I mean, it's a whole cycle again, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling lah,
Yes.
in that sense, because especially when you already have your a strong base to start with. And I think just to end it off there, while Carrick is a good choice to stay, but my only concern would be he doesn't have the pulling factor. If let's say we are going for certain key players or big players,
Yeah.
those big name players, yeah, I think we may struggle on that end, if let's say that is the intention. But then
Yeah.
again, I think we have already made too many transfer mistakes as well, or
Yeah.
transfers that doesn't go so well.
Yeah.
So I think once a while to go for players who are average or even proven Premier League players, I think that should be the way forward.
Mm.
It's better rather than going for those extra big names like, I don't know, Mbappe or whoever else
Yeah.
in there. Yeah. So yeah, that's the only concept. But if you ask me as a fan, yeah, keep him. If he does well, keep him till next season. But make sure the board supports him all the way, and don't give all these half promises, empty backings and stuff.
All right, all right. So let's round up a little bit of the other games. Let's touch a bit before we actually have a little bit of the second part of today's part one, which is the player rating. But after Manchester City lost, Aston Villa losing the game to Everton, and
Mm.
Arsenal basically had a chance to extend the lead, but we ended up drawing 0-0. So I guess I'll share a bit on Arsenal point of view because I'm an Arsenal fan, I guess. So, but yeah, it is a missed chance. But I'm starting to notice a trend where I do want to ask you guys also. There's a lot of recent draw results. Like you see Liverpool drawing to Burnley. Man City keep having draws before they lose to Man United. Arsenal back-to-back draw with Liverpool and now Nottingham Forest. And Man United even drawing with Burnley last week
Yeah.
and all that. So there's a lot of like results that's kind of like dull and all that. So I have a few interesting arguments that they have. One is saying that maybe there are too many matches being played. That's probably the reason. But another one is saying that EPL is just basically getting boring because of all the managers are playing in a way of like just reserve and counter attack, and it's just a common modern game. There's nothing new within all the managers in between. Hence, the score line is kind of degrading. Like you don't get. I'm not expecting like fancy score line, but like this kind of draw, this kind of same results that one counter, sit back and all that. So I just want to ask you guys real quick, like is the EPL really getting boring with the modern stuff, or is it really because of like too many matches happening? Hence, that's why players are not going to be up to it. So I'll start with you, Shan, for this one.
Okay, if you touch on there are too many matches that being played, maybe for the top teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City,
Yeah,
because they are still in the Champions League, they have the FA Cup, and then recently
yeah,
Arsenal played. They are playing Chelsea again in the second leg of the I think Carling Cup. So that might build up the whole fatigue, and then you need to choose players that are fresh and all these things. So the
yeah,
youth system also might be implemented for the youth players to start and all this. So that might be the reason for the scoreline to be a bit like drawing.
yeah,
When you expect Arsenal to win and then they didn't win. But if you ask as EPL as a whole, maybe the underdog teams, they are also trying to build up. Somehow we are in the season, we are almost towards I think about 3 to 4 months left of the season. So the
yeah,
lower teams are trying to build up. They're
yeah,
trying to, avoid the relegation battle and everything. So sometimes we expect, like Menu against Burnley, we thought it's a clear-cut Menu win, but we didn't know that Burnley turns up and then stuff.
yeah,
Even with Wolf, we draw with Wolf and all this. So these kind of low teams are actually the one that they are trying to build up on their strength when they are playing the
mm,
bigger things. So that causes the draw. For them, they play for a draw. They
yeah,
play Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. You get a draw, they'll be it's a celebrating thing for them. So in terms of the matches that is being drawn, I think it's more of the lower clubs are trying to up their game to
mm,
actually match with and on top of the too many match for the top tier clubs. So it mix of both, and that's why we have some kind of game of draw. But if you tell me it's a EPL boring, I don't know. I've been watching
Dude,
for
I mean, you
past
don't find
season.
it boring, right?
I don't find it boring. Like, I think it's still quite entertaining because everyone has everything to play for. We have, for menu, we have still fourth place to place for. Everything is still open. It's not like a
Yeah,
gap is huge. It's still somehow, achievable for anyone to get anything in the table. So, in a way, it's still exciting. It's still something to look out for every club to play. So I don't see it as a boring.
Well, Mr. JB, do you agree as well with that? Do you find EPL to be slightly more boring with, the modern tactical stuff? Or is it just, too many matches? The lower teams are the one that's just taking advantage of it.
I don't think boring is. I mean, I personally don't find it boring lah. It's more of the. I mean, as what Sean mentions, the teams are all improving, not just the lower ones. So I think in general, I think the standard have definitely, has always been increasing. Like you see the teams like Brentford, teams like Sunderland, right? At one point was pretty high. Teams like Brighton,
Yeah,
these are the teams who, I think back then, I think probably 5 seasons or 6 seasons ago, when you see such teams, you are like, oh, okay, the top four, the top five teams will definitely steamroll them. But now they are churning results. So
yeah.
there is improvement there in terms of their gameplay, the players, right?
Mm,
So I think that in itself contribute to being the competitiveness of the Premier League lah, as a whole.
yeah,
Then yes, of course, the topic of too many matches. Yeah, I mean every year it seems like the players are playing, especially the higher teams are playing much more matches each time, and I think that is also a hit and miss. Can be good, can be bad.
yeah,
Uh, you know, it's a double-edged sword, lah, right?
yeah.
Good in a sense, your players, more prizes, more motivation for your players,
Mm,
etc. But of course, on the other side of things, if injury happen, uh, yeah, and then or if you're preparing for a big match upcoming, then you need to make some short changes here and there, rotation of players. So these are the kind of factors that also contribute to
mm,
to such results. Because at the end of the day, as much as you are playing like FIFA, you want your same team every game.
Mhm.
But sadly, this is not FIFA, or I should say, sorry, I a bit I a bit
Yeah,
lost track
FC,
of time.
FC 25,
Yeah,
26.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's EAFC now. Yeah, correct. We don't say FIFA. Yeah, now
Mhm.
FIFA is just the organization, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think these are some of the challenges that I think managers and players face. So that's why I think the result is becoming as such. And I think and because of such result, that is why I think EPL is one of the most watched. In fact, I think it's the most watched
Yeah.
league in the world
Yeah.
in terms of football terms. Because I mean, look, I mean, just give example. I'm not trying to be biased, but I just have to come up with this example. Let's look at Liverpool, defending champs, right?
Yeah.
They are the defending champions. They have the same number of players. In fact, they spent another, I don't know, 100, 200 million
Yeah.
to get better players.
Over 200 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, but look at them now. In fact, they have conceded what 29 goals
Yeah.
already. Their goal
Yeah.
difference is actually lower than Man United at the
Yeah.
moment. So
True.
so you can see that the change and the tide there, which is why I think the Premier League is actually definitely I think one of the best leagues out there. So perhaps that may contribute to the draws. Although yes, if you ask me personally, I myself don't like draws. I would rather lose one, win one, than you draw two games. Because if you were to do the math, you
Yeah.
get more points if you lose
More
one and
points.
win
Yeah.
one. Yeah, rather than drawing two games. Although you can proudly say, yeah, I'm undefeated for two games. But yeah, at the end of the day, football table points
Mm-hmm.
matters.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for the input there. All right. So now we're going to move on to the final part before we wrap things up in the part one, which is just a quick fire round of player ratings, kind of like AFTV or United Stand or whichever channel they do.
Okay.
But just for you guys, because you both are Man United, we're going to do the player rating for Man United against Man City. So I'm going to give you guys a player one by one. You give me the rating out of 10. Simple as that. All right. And give me your thoughts about it. So, of course, Man United famous win over Man City with Carrick's first game in charge coming. Lamans, we'll start with you, Sean. What would you rate Lamans' performance over Man City?
Um, there's some good save by him, and then I'll give him. And there's not much of
I
work
mean, there's
actually
only
in terms of
one
the.
shot, or not even on target. That's probably one, but
Mm,
maybe distribution, or was there like commanding stuff to
this
do?
maybe I'll give him a 7 right now
Lamans with
overall.
7. All right. Mr. JB,
Yeah.
would you agree with 7?
Yeah, I will give 7 also. Yeah, I mean he didn't do much. I mean in terms of
Mhm.
saving.
Yeah.
Uh, in terms of that. Yeah, distribution. Um, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, still there's room for improvement. Yeah, but I think seven is fine. Yeah, seven's okay.
All right, moving on to the right back, the lucky man himself, Diogo Dalot. So, Shan, back to you.
Yeah,
Diogo
good
Dalot.
Dalot. I'll have to give him at least 7 is still quite fair enough for him also. Given that he's lucky to still be on the field. Overall, gameplay wise, he's a little bit improved from the previous one. He played the right back role quite well, and defensive wise, he's still okay. So I think 7 is justified for Dalot. Yeah,
All right, 7 again, Mr. JB.
I
7
think
for
they
Dalot.
should.
I think I'll give 6.5 for
6.5.
Dalot.
All right.
Yeah, correct. I mean, yes, although that challenge was, a one-off, and I think we are very lucky. If
Hmm.
not, his rating would have definitely gone down if he had gotten a rate for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall he did all right on the right flank, but not as much though. I mean, I expected more, especially for a player of his stature, caliber. I think he's been at the club for quite long,
Yeah.
so I expected more. But yeah, I think for this match, on 6.5. Yeah.
All right. All right. So now next up, Harry Maguire. Mr. JB, I'll go with you. Harry Maguire's rating.
Harry Maguire for me, uh, he's like the hero's comeback of heroes comeback. So I'm slowly beginning to like him. He's growing on me, especially for that game in Man City. He was very well. I think he
Yeah.
played very well. He was giving his all. I think he was even bleeding on the pitch. Darah tumpah everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for the English viewers. Yeah, darah tumpah meaning the blood was spilling. But he was still giving his all. So I think Maguire. I'm gonna give us a 7.5 at least. Yeah, Maguire 7.5. Solid performance.
All right. Well, Shan, would you agree with that, or what's your rating for him?
For me, I'll give him high. You know why? Because he's in the first half, I think it's barely a few minutes from the start of the game, he hit the post. Being a
Yeah.
defender, he's up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He
His
hit it off the
heading
post,
skills
yes,
is
in the
good,
first half. Yeah.
and then he is the one who built up on the counter attack for the first goal. The one that I think Man City
Hmm.
got a free kick, but Maguire hit out and then go to Bruno and everything. So I will give him at least an overall performance. I'll give him at least about 8.5 or 9. I give him a high
Yeah. Yeah.
because he really, in terms of assist, attack, contribution, defend, and you have Haaland in front of you, you mix up everything as a package. I think he deserves at least a 8.5 to 9 for me.
I mean, to be fair, if you manage to get Haaland to be substituted off, you're doing well already.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Next
yeah.
up, Lisandro Martinez. Shan, over to you.
Martinez, I'll give him an 8 just for keeping Haaland quiet the whole match and trying to prove a point. To say that I'm a good defender, I'm able to do it because of his small size in nature. People look down on him. Haaland being how aggressive he is as an attacker, but he managed to shut off Haaland, even being substituted in the 80th minute. So I'll give him an 8 for keeping Haaland off and then
Yeah.
proving a point to show what he has. So an 8 justified for him.
All right, Mr. JB, agree with the 8, or do you have another score for him?
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, because I gave Maguire a 7.5, I think I'll give him the same. I'll give Martinez a
7.5 as
7.5.
well?
I think I recall, yeah, he kept Haaland quiet, which is good. And I do recall, I think perhaps second half, I recall seeing him actually like he's one of the smallest player
Mhm.
in the box, but he managed to hit the ball clear for some reason. And I like especially when he start running forward, he can be useful in the midfield as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think overall, yeah, a very solid centre back performance. But because I gave Maguire a 7.5, I'll give him a 7.5 as well.
All right, no worries. Next up, Luke Shaw, Mr. JB.
Luke Shaw, not too bad as well, not too bad. But I think I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. I think he played on the left, not too bad. I think I like his link up play with Dorgu. He's okay. He's okay. Yeah, but I think I'll give him a 7. 7, sir.
All right, Shan, over to you.
Yes, I agree. I think he did his job well as a left back, and then linking up with Dogu, and then also the tiki taka he had with the Bruno and Kunha. So I think 7 is justified. Yeah.
7 is justified. All right, moving on to the midfields, we have Casemiro. Shan, over to you for
Oh,
Casemiro.
Casemiro, he controlled the midfield, the defensive midfield. So I'll give him give him an 8 for overall performance of holding,
Very
protecting the
unfortunate with the
defense line.
injury. Hope it's not too
Yes,
serious.
unfortunate, but overall, when he's playing, I think how he controlled the midfield, I think 8 is okay for him. Yep.
Okay, Mr. JB, Casemiro for you?
Yeah, I agree with Shan there. I think 8 is fair. This is one of the better performance from Casemiro, although he didn't score or assist, I think, but overall, I think he managed to control the midfield well. He looks very comfortable and very threatening going up. And yeah, unfortunate to be taken out for the injury. Hopefully nothing serious, but yeah, he
Yeah.
looks like prime Casemiro during those Madrid days. So I think I'll give him an 8 for that performance.
Well, as an Arsenal fan, I hope it's just a one-off thing for you guys. But next up, Mr. JB, back to you again. Kobe Mainoo coming back into the lineup again after Emery left. How would you fare the performance?
Yeah, I think it's been a while since I actually see him play. Yeah, because under Amorim he didn't get a chance to. So to actually see him play it again, I think he's very matured for his age. I think that performance was really good. I recall I think he did one fake I think over Semenyo or something. I think that one was
Yes.
very good. I mean that's the thing about Mino lah. I think even before Amorim and all that, we kind of know he's a very skillful, talented player. He has good vision. So I think for this performance, I'll give him a 7.5. I think a 7.5. For his so-called return, I think 7.5 is fair for me.
All right, well, Shan, what about you?
I agree, Mr. JB, because I think these are the players that they have to prove the point. Given that lack of game time and everything during the Amorim tenure.
Yep.
So yeah, the one that he did to I think Semenyo, that was fantastic. And the confidence is building in him. So
Hmm.
he's trying to prove a point that he's deserved for the first 11 for every match. So overall, I think I'll give him 7.5 as well. 7.5. Yeah.
All right. So now moving on to the wingers. Shan, back to you again. Amad Diallo on the
Mhm.
right.
Ahmad Diallo, it's so good to have him back, from the AFCON. You can see what kind of change he can make on the right. So
Yeah.
his speed, he challenged for every ball, and then even if the ball is within the defense of the Man City, he will counter, he will go and cause the disturbance to them. So I think I'll give him an 8 for Ahmad.
Right. Wait for you. Mr.
Yeah.
JB for Amad Diallo.
Yeah, I mean it's really unfortunate lah. I mean he's but yeah, I mean sadly his name didn't get on the score sheet because of the offside goal. Yeah, he did everything right.
Mhm.
As usual, Ahmad being Ahmad, he runs down the flanks, he's skillful, can score, he can create. Yeah, I think 8 is fair. Yeah, yeah, I'll give him 8 for the right flanks. Yes.
All right. 8 for Amad Diallo. Now, Mr. JB, back to you again. Bruno Fernandes.
I mean, it's basically the return of one of our best players. Uh, in fact, one of our creative geniuses left, lah. Bruno Fernandes. I think when you give him such support, and I think when he's enjoying playing, you can see the difference that he makes
Yeah.
in terms of the assist and everything. So yeah, I think for Bruno, how much should I give him? I think I'll give him wow. I mean,
It's
he
okay.
also
You
scored
can
a
give
lot of
any
time.
score you want,
Yeah, yeah. I think I'll give him an 8.5. I give him an 8.5, and that point five was because he is the captain. So yeah, let's give him 8.5. Yeah.
Well, Shan, do you agree 8.5 or would you go higher or lower?
I'll give Bruno a 9, to be honest. You know why? Because he is
Right.
the captain. He's the engine of the whole team. He
Yeah.
commands everyone. He controls the game. And this is a game to show the proof of what Bruno can do to a team when he's inside the team. How
Yeah.
is his distribution, his assists, like what I said earlier, um, how he played the game and everything. So I'll give him a 9, and because of his long range, his passing, and then just being him there, it means the whole team is motivated and everything, and he
Yeah.
controls the whole team. So I think 9 is good score for him.
Would you guys say that he's like your guys' man of the match in terms of the whole team, or do you have another?
Man of the match, if you ask me, I'll get it's either Bruno and Maguire, actually, if you ask me, both of them, because Maguire also was fantastic in that match. So
Yeah.
between Bruno, I think I will go for Bruno for the man of the match if you were to ask me.
Well, Mr. JB, I mean, is he considered man of the match for you, for Bruno Fernandes, or do you have someone else?
Yeah. I believe it should be Bruno because I think he assisted the goals.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean his performance alone is good enough. It's a shame he didn't get a goal, but yeah, I think his performance would definitely warrants a man of the match performance from him.
All right. So, Shan, back to you. We left two more players plus one more substitute for me to share. Patrick
Mhm.
Dorgu, one of the goal scorer.
Patrick Dogo, I'll give him at least about 7.5 because you see when he scored the goal, he actually ran through the defense.
Yeah.
Everyone was caught off guard, and then when
He's
Kunha actually crossed the ball in, he had
yeah.
that vision, that hey, this is my opportunity to score, and then he went in. And overall, during the whole game, how he's controlling the left, is how he linked up with Shaw and everything also is good. So 8 is okay for him, I think. Yeah,
All right.
8 is
Mr.
good.
JB, for Dorgu, what would you give him?
Yeah, I will give him 8 also. Uh, for him, I mean that game he was running up and down. He
Yeah.
really used his pace,
He's a
which I think is
very,
good.
very speedy guy.
Yeah, speedy guy. But I think it's just that sometimes his decision making can be better,
Hmm.
can be improved. Yeah, because sometimes I think he kind of double guessed his next move sometimes. But yeah,
Hmm.
but this time I think he was very spot on. It's a very good goal and a very good assist from Cunha. So yeah, I'll give him a
All right. And lastly, the striker, who is also another goal scorer, Brian Mbeumo, Mr. JB. What would you rate him?
Brian Bemo. I think he is literally Mr. Versatile. I think he can play like everywhere and anywhere. He's slowly I mean I'm slowly like growing to like him because I think he's a very, very hard worker. And
Hmm.
he's also speedy despite his build and bulk. I
Yeah.
think he's also very fast, very skillful. And yeah, I mean he's definitely a nightmare for defenders.
Yeah.
Definitely at the moment I would say he's my signing of the season so far,
Yeah.
as of now. So I'm gonna give him 8.5. 8.5 for Book.
8.5. All right. Sean, what about you for Brian Mbeumo?
Okay, for Embremo, when the starting lineup came up and then you saw Embremo playing as a striker, there'll be goals, there'll be chances created because we know how a player he is.
Yeah.
Very fast, he will take all the chances and then, he's shooting and everything. So, I'll give him I think I agree with Mr. JB, 8.5 with what he has done and everything and the way he's got the goal, the positioning that he moved into for Bruno to pass him and the angle that he shoots. So, 8.5 for Embremo.
All right. The substitute, I believe there's like Aiden Haven, Mason Mount who come in the 90 minute for both of them. Ugarte on the 80th minute. But I think normally even for the subs, we give it like a standard 6 or 7. But this one I have to ask because he has some form of contribution. Mateus Cunha, who actually had one assist coming off from the bench. Shan, what's
Mhm,
your rating?
mhm. Um, I'll give him a 7.5.
7.5 for Cunha. All right.
7.5, yes, because of the assist, and then when he entered the game, he straight away, he
Just
performed and
involved
everything. So
immediately.
just involved, the chemistry between the teams was there. So I think 7.5 for Kunha. When he came in, the contribution was good for him and the assist as well. So 7.5.
All right. Well, Mr. JB, what about you for Mateus Cunha?
Yes, I agree. 7.5 same. He did well. Because it's a direct sub, and I think a player of his quality as well. He loves to run down the flanks, dribble, beat players. And he's one thing good about him is that he can hold the ball, and he has some pretty good vision as well. So for his credit, I think 7.5 for that 20 minutes or so cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 7.5 is for a
All
sub.
right.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
lastly, for you guys, Michael Carrick, what would you guys rate him for the first game? Shan, what would you rate Michael Carrick?
Just for having the players playing in their own positions, I think there's when you play in game Man City, I think 8.5 is okay. 8.5
8.5?
because of yes, team selection, and then playing in Boemo in the striker because we know against City you need to score goals. You know
Yeah,
that saying that Sesko is not good, but you know we have high chance of scoring with
yeah,
Boemo up front. So with all these decisions making and then the substitutions that he made, you know, putting in Mount, Kunha, and then I think 8.5 is justified for him as well. So overall, hopefully he can maintain what he's been doing. So for this match, I'll give him an 8.5.
right. 8.5. Mr. JB, would you agree, Carrick, to be 8.5?
Yeah, I mean, I would say somewhat agree, somewhat, but I think,
What will you give?
yeah, but I don't want to give too much a hit of a credit to Carrick lah. I mean, it is a one game, yes, but it is against City at a
Yeah,
time where we are one of the lows. So for him to actually manage to get a high, I think that's pretty good. But I think I'm gonna give him an eight, for now. I think, yes. At first when I see his selection, I was also scratching my head. Uh, yeah, because there's no Sesko, like I'm like,
yeah.
hey, you're not
You
playing a
never
neutral
bring on
striker.
Sesko once. So,
Yeah, at all. Yeah, so I was like, hey, is this a risk, And then I see Mino coming back also. I'm like, how else is Mino gonna play because he lacks the game time. But
yeah,
yeah, overall, somewhat he executed the game plan perfectly. He made the subs at the right time. I don't know what he did in the halftime team talk, but it's also working.
yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, it's great. But I'll give him a eight.
All right. So that is that for the player ratings of Man United versus Man City. And we're going to wrap things up for the part one for today. So if you guys do enjoy today's episode, don't forget to hit the like, comment down below what you guys think. More importantly, to share and subscribe. Do join us for the part two, where the return of the Football Focus SG quiz, a challenge between Mr. JV and our special guest, Sean himself. Do go and check it out. We'll see you next time.